Dr. J here. I'm doing a 90-day review of the Janty Stick. I know a lot of people come on here and they do reviews of brand new products and things like that, and that's great. It gives you an idea of what's going on. But as a vapor and a pretty heavy vapor at that, I thought I'd give everybody sort of a rundown on how well the Janty Stick has held up over these much use that I put it through. I gotta admit, I really do love that thing. It's a cool little device. It's easy to use. I'm going to go into a little bit more of the positives on it in a minute, but let's get the rant out of the way first. Apparently, Janty's quality control is questionable. I had to go through 5 Janty sticks to find 2 that actually function. Out of the 2 that I still have, and I numbered them, this is number 1, and this number 1's pretty good. It works as it's advertised. Number 2, on the other hand, still has some issues. It's really hard to get the atomizer to seat down in the thing, so I had to kind of play around with it to get it to work. So, you know, that doesn't say too much for their quality control. It leaks around the atomizer. When you put the atomizer down in there, you'll pull it out and it's covered with juice, you know, and you gotta clean the thing off with a handy dandy paper towel. And another thing you have to do is occasionally, you know, just get down in there and clean it up. I'll go into that in a little bit too. Paint job sucks. It's paint on plastic, as you can see probably by the pictures here. I'm trying to hold it up so you can see it. It's just chewed all the paint off of it. And of course, the bad thing is sticking it in and out of the case chews the paint off even more. But yeah, it's not that big a deal, you know. It's a plastic construction. So, you know, it's kind of questionable as to how long it'll hold up. Although, 90 days, it's held up pretty good. Okay, now here's the rave part. Cool part, it's small. It's probably the smallest little device out there. It's absolutely handheld. The way that it's designed, where the atomizer goes down in this side and then the battery is in the other side, it makes it about as compact as you could possibly make any smoke. I've seen a lot of box mods that guys have made and stuff like that, but nothing is this tiny. This thing is really tiny. Super easy to use. Screw the atomizer down in it, drop some vape, hit the button, and you're done. Pretty straightforward. And so far, been extremely reliable. I haven't had one break down on me in the field. I've carried them all over the place. I've taken them when I played gigs, and taken them to work, taken them on trips. Things held up just perfectly great. Another thing I like about it is battery life. Battery life seems incredibly good. My wife and I went to a casino here recently, and I took a little Janty stick with me, vaped all night, non-stop, constantly, and the battery never ran dead. And we were probably out there, 3 or 4 hours, maybe more. Battery never even started to go dead on me. It's got really good vapor production. Of course, that's dependent on the atomizer, but good vape production here. I got the fan on, so it's blowing it around, but it does real good vapor production. And honestly, I haven't found an atomizer yet that won't work on the darn thing. I mean, I've had the cheapest 801 atomizers, like I'm going to show you here in a minute, the world's oldest atomizer that I got, gosh, back in November of last year, and all the way down to the more expensive, you know, warranty Janty classic atomizers. All of them seem to work just fine. The pass-through is probably the coolest feature of it. It's got a great pass-through. It works. When you got it hooked up to your box here, it's just like you know, it's just like having a fresh battery every single time. So I'm really happy about that little piece. It comes with a little cable, but it's a standard cable, which is cool, because you can buy these things, you know, at Target, Walmart, whatever, you know. And I've had it hooked up with a really long one and been basically vaping from across the room. So it works great for that. The quick battery charge is extremely quick. That was kind of shocking to me. Usually within, you know, from dead to completely charged up within about an hour or so, which I think is fantastic. The best invention that they ever threw in on this thing, though, was the little case. Even though it rubs the plastic off of the sucker, it is a great case, and we're going to go into that in a little bit. But here's basically a few tips for you Janty Stick users out there, especially your new ones. First thing I do is the case. Nice little holster case. You can drop it in your pocket. I usually stick it inside my pocket and hook it with the little belt hook there, since I don't usually have on the type of pants that use belts. It's got two little pockets on the side, as you can probably see there. They're two little elastic pockets. And on one side I put me an extra battery, and on the other side I put me a little 3 milliliter bottle of juice. And take your Janty Stick, pop them down in there. One little handheld thing ready to go. Just stick in your pocket and you're ready to roll. Excellent design. Excellent design. I can't say enough good things. Always keep you an extra battery and keep you an extra bottle of 3 milliliter juice in there. So you're never without the essentials. Another thing I would recommend for if you're a Janty Stick smoker is, or vapor, sorry, is to buy you a little car USB adapter. They're really inexpensive. I think I picked this one up for $9-10. I think actually I found it across the street at a convenience store. Pop your Janty Stick in there, down the road vaping. So if you go on any kind of car trips, you never have to worry about running out of batteries or whatever. Another thing I talked about earlier was cleaning the thing out with Q-tip. When you take the atomizer out, it's inevitably going to be covered with juice. So, you can see, but it's covered with juice. So I usually wipe the thing down, and inside the little hole that the atomizer goes in, it's going to be just completely full of juice. So you take a Q-tip and a piece of paper towel, run it down in there and clean it out real good, and that goes a long way to kind of help maintain the thing. Another thing is you kind of want to be careful when you're seating the atomizer. This is my problem child here. It's a little hard to seat. What you want to do is kind of push the thing down in there. It can be a little tight sometimes, and sort of wiggle it around just a little bit and make sure it's seating down in there. And when you're turning it, make sure you're not just turning the tip and kind of get a little grip on that metal part of the atomizer too. And you don't want to get it too tight. Usually what I'll do is I'll sort of tighten it a little bit, listen, see if it's sizzling a little bit more. Alright, it's sizzling now. And that's how you can tell your atomizer is seated down in there and you don't suck in and get a whole mouthful of juice. And another recommendation that I would have, and this is just from my experience, is I would go ahead and spend the extra money and buy the Janty Classic atomizers off of Janty USA. They just seem to have a better draw, they seem to be more reliable, and they just seem to work better in the Janty Stick to me. Not that any 801 atomizer, any plain old 801 atomizer you can get from anywhere for $10 will work just fine. But they also carry what they call a TAWA, throw-away atomizer, T-A-W-A, and it's basically the exact same thing as the Janty Classic atomizer. I think it's the same one used on a Kiss box. And it's about half the price. It's about the price of a standard 801 atomizer. So I would highly recommend going ahead and forking over the cash and getting a bunch of those to have with you. Another thing I would suggest too is when you're going out, when you got your little kid together, about the only other thing that can go wrong is your atomizer can go out on you. So I tend to go with my newer atomizers. You got to break them in probably for half a day. Goofing around with puffing on them, vaping on them until you get them to be work right. But I would use one of my newer ones if I was going out, because I'm out a lot, and it's the one I take to the bars. I mean, it's just, to me, the best little device around. Can't say as I don't love my VP2, and I'm going to talk about that in another video. But even though I love my VP2, look at the size difference. You take this thing, pop it in your pocket, you got everything you need right there. No more carrying around eyeglass cases or camera cases or whatever with all your paraphernalia in it, looking like a crack addict, But anyway, that's my 90-day run on the Janty Stick, and I'm real happy with it. Oh, forgot to start talking about. I think I had a video on this. This is a 510 adapter, so you can use your 510 addies and Kiss box. Works like a charm, seats perfectly, no complaints there. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that seems like a pretty good, reliable device. So if you invest in it, I think you won't go wrong. You might have to go through a few of them, send a few back, and till you get one that works right. But On the other upside of that, Ethan over at Janty USA was just fantastic. He sent me another one, no problems. Same thing with Parker over at Diet Smokes. Bought one from him. He sent me one, said send it back when you get a chance. So they're super cool guys, and their service is absolutely phenomenal. And speaking of phenomenal guys, don't forget to go to vaportalk.com. Best little e-cigarette or e-smoke or e-beeper or whatever you want to call it forum on the web. Super guys over there. Say hi to Chris and Sean for me, and know that this will be posted over there. Till then, this is Dr. J, signing off.